Reed, did you have any, I know that both you and Colin had some questions about HAX related things. Colin seemed to indicate he might have borked his local development environment. Did you want to ask your question, Reed, relative to HAX or HAX CMS?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
My only question was just something about the location of the components within the whole setup. It's a very basic, but still broad question. I'm not sure if you want to answer that specifically, but also just back when Mr. Potter gave his Docker tutorial thing for our class back a year ago, he was showing us the Docker setup for having HAX running, right? Like for the students' accounts and all their sites.
Yeah.
I believe that was one thing.
So do you want to see that, or?
Yeah, because I now know more, so it sort of went over my head before, but I just am curious about seeing it again.
Gotcha.
Now that I would understand it.
Yeah. I can show it real quick.
Sure.
Do you want?
Why don't you do that, Mike, and then I'll queue up and show you how to work on HAX locally, Read using the mono repo, and like where elements go and whatnot, since that's kind of related to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are still developing like what the right workflow for this Docker container is.
Mike.
Yeah.
Turn off your video.
Yeah.
I think it might help.
Yeah. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, let me make sure that it's in here, or else I'm not even gonna try it because it would have to download.
I saw elmsln/HAX CMS flyby.
Yep. Okay. So we do have a Docker container for Docker Hub, and let me just sign in with P. Come on, password. Okay. So we have a Docker container for HAX CMS that's located at elmsln/HAX CMS. And that will get you the latest version of HAX CMS. We also have tagged releases for the HAX CMS container. We need to get better about it because, as you can see, we tagged the last one 8 months ago. So, but I have intermittently been tagging just actual commits more regularly. So you can see like some of these commits I've just been tagging periodically. But what we can do here is, let me create a new thing for CMS demo. Okay. And I'm going to run the Docker command to just run this HAX CMS image. So that would be Docker run, and then we're going to pass it the -it flag. And that just means that it's going to not run in the background, pretty much. We're going to attach to the output. I'm going to add the -rm flag just so that whenever the container shuts down, it's going to remove itself. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. Let's just run D, because this is what you would really want to do. So we'll run -d to put it in the background. We'll tag it with a name that's called HAX CMS. And then I'm going to attach it to a port. So basically, if you're unfamiliar with Docker, there's a running process inside of the container. So in this case, for HAX CMS, it comes with its own web server that's running on port 80. So we're going to attach it to our host machine, port 80. And then specify HAX or elms-ln/HAX CMS. And just by doing that, you should be able to go to localhost, and voila, you have your little HAX CMS server. So this would be the screen that you would get if you were to set this up on a PHP server. It would first ask you to access HAX CMS, and that would set up this little config directory that pretty much puts HAX CMS in motion. So I'm going to log out and log in with those credentials that I was just provided. All right, so this is the default screen. And I'm going to create a site here, say amp.com. And now I can start working on amp.com.
Well, I know how to go this far with the editing, but so when it's running the student thing, like I can go online and do, I forget the website, but it's something PSU.
HAX.psu.edu.
Yeah, so that's just the Docker stuff that's running somewhere.
No, that's different.
Oh, okay.
So think of HAX.psu.edu as almost like a WordPress multi-site or Drupal multi-site or shared hosting type environment. Just for simplicity and getting something stood up, HAX.psu.edu basically just generates a whole ton of symlinks whenever a new user logs in. And then, so when you make a new site, it's just copying and pasting files.
Okay.
So it's now the ideal scenario would be like what Mike has got here, right? You would throw it into some type of functions as a service backend in which you would say, hey, user wants to make a new site, and it would actually request the address and stitch things together that way. That would be a lot more secure and just generally scalable.
Okay, that's what my bad memory thought was going on back then when you were showing it to us all, but that makes more sense that it is that way right now.
Yeah. And you can also use it to, this is a more advanced setup if you're familiar with Docker, but you can use the HAX CMS server to host your basically your static site. So you wouldn't, like, HAX.psu.edu is an entire deployment of HAX CMS to host multiple sites. You could just use the HAX CMS server to host one site at a time if you wanted to. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I had for that part. My questions, but yeah, just the and then for the HAX CMS, like elements that we had for Brian said he was going to show us.